Okay, so a little disclaimer before I begin the video. One, yeah, last commentary I forgot to show 2 of the avatars I used. So anybody calls me up for not sticking to the set, eat a duck. Second, I am aware that the video has been taken down, as well as the fact that File for Victory really doesn't like the video I'm defending. But his video does not at all affect his current quality of content, and he's greatly improved from it afterwards. The only purpose of this commentary is to have fun and critique, same as all my other comms. Sorry to start out like this, just this video in particular, I think I need to get this message across in particular. Anyways, onto the video. Oh, lucky me. Necromancy is a rather fun thing, isn't it? So, this video. This is something I want to do for a while. Does the name Defectminus ring a bell? Guy, hangs around the CC. He had actually made a commentary once, yet for some reason he deleted it, I have no idea why. Originally I didn't care much about the video, but after finding and re-uploading it, courtesy of Keyblade Master, there's a lot of things I'd like to point out. Now I'm skipping his first point, because while I feel there's something wrong with it, I just can't put my finger on what the exact issue is.
Krusty Krab is unfair. Mr. Krabs is in there, standing at the concession, plotting his oppression. Mr. Krabs is unfair. Krusty Krab is unfair, standing at the concession, plotting his oppression.
Also, what does this have to do with Super's point? Super harped on Yungus' design, not its battle capabilities.
The idea of the Pokemon is said to be inspired by Landmine, because explosive and fire types, and a type of turtle called the Matamata with a similar looking face just put through Pokemon art. I mean, it's not that hard to look for this. It's even mentioned on the Bulbapedia page, so I'm wondering if you even did much research.
Wait. Stop. Wait a minute. Fill a cup and drink it till you choke, you scrub. Like, oof. Defectminus, way to confuse your audience here, buddy. For those who wonder why I left that previous part of the last point in there, that was to show that he was covering Far for Victory's point relating to the Pokemon Yungoos and Gumshoes. Yet, when we move on to the next point of Philo's, you jump in like a miniature Leroy Jenkins, so you have no idea what this section is on. There were so many ways that this could have been fixed. 1. Make a skip screen of text saying you're moving on to the Turtonator segment, or 2, just say that and move on. And even then, this issue of context goes far deeper than this. As you'll see...
Okay, that's great and all, but why should he give a fuck? Just because he knows the Pokemon's origin, it doesn't matter. He'd still not like how it's designed. In fact, Super even states this in a comment 3 months ago. How did you miss this?
I can turn back time to the good old days.
But the one thing I really don't like about Turtonator is its design. I remember where I was when this Pokemon got revealed. It was over the summer and I was at my grandma's cottage up north, and I remember checking YouTube and saw a new Sun and Moon trailer came out. The trailer revealed Turtonator, and all I could think about when I first saw it was, wow, this Pokemon is really weird. And ever since then, I have never really cared for this Pokemon. I think the thing that I don't like the most about its design is its head and its interestingly shaped mouth. This Pokemon just looks really weird to me.
I mean, I think it's okay if you think Turtonator has an odd design, because subjective tastes. But why is that your main reason for disliking it, even though you still say it has some nice battle capabilities? Not to mention that you bring this up as an anecdotal point against it, considering your dislike of it was off the first impressions. Jeez, that's fair! Torkoal the Dragonborn agrees wholeheartedly!
You cut out context to make your point better. Yeah, GG. Philo flat out admits in the beginning of his point that he himself thinks it's fine if he's not a fan of the design because of, and I quote, subjective taste. He addresses the point more in depth by asking why that's the main reason. Then there's a, it doesn't matter, he doesn't like how it's designed portion of this argument. Yeah, where in the flying frick was this implied? What you were doing here, dear sir, is committing a straw man. Now allow me to burn it!
And to answer why it has that sort of mouth, and to answer why it has that sort of mouth, and to answer...
Philo was just adding this on as a side note as shown by the way he worded it. Sure, you could argue if this was actually relevant to leave in the commentary, frankly I would actually do the same, but trying to make it sound as if Philo was using this as a reason for why it shouldn't be on isn't exactly correct, because there's no obvious way to determine what the purpose of said point was, so really this point feels as if it's just built off of false implication. Whoopsie, post-Jonah here. So, actually this point's even worse than I thought, because there's the last part of this portion to address too, the whole entire comment he left in the video saying. Because Defectminus, as shown by your own screenshot, that comment wasn't pinned to the video. And since it wasn't pinned, this is a non-issue, because a commentator shouldn't be having to go through all of the comments to see for stuff like this. By your logic, every single commentator period should be looking through the comment section to look for details, when no, that shouldn't be a thing.
Krusty Krab is unfair. Mr. Krabs is in there, standing at the concession, plotting his oppression. Mr. Krabs is unfair.
useful utility Pokemon in competitive battling, but other than that, I just don't have any appreciation for this Pokemon.
Says Serena has great battle utility, but doesn't explain why it's good. Then says it's not to hold any appreciation towards it. Contradictions at some of its finest! So what's good about this? Serena being a pure grass type means she has quite a few weaknesses when not a lot of things she's good against other than water, rock, and ground. But she has a lot of points put into her physical attack at both of her defenses, and she has a decent amount of physical moves with a lot of coverage, like her signature move Tropical Kick, Acrobatics, High Jump Kick, etc. But at least say she's good as a bulky sweeper from the outset, not even taking into anything else. So Serpa, what is this not explained game? Do I win a Nissan for playing?
Is it time to throw on Smogon Pants already? There's a difference between a great battle utility and a great utility Pokemon. According to Smogon, a utility Pokemon is a Pokemon who is capable of performing a large variety of tasks, and is usually tailored to one specific task that the team requires. Often, this would be because of a combination of good base stats and a wide move pool. Her moveset showcases a lot of different uses that Serena has, such as being a rapid spinner, being able to scout with U-turn, and can heal with synthesis. She can also lower the foe's defenses with Trop Kick. Seriously, do better research.
Why? Why is this a point? I'm actually speechless because I, honest to God, have no idea what you're trying to actually prove with this. So you yourself admit Serena is a great utility Pokemon that's like to list off multiple other things that it can accomplish. Now fine, you did your research, good job. But how is this reliable as a point against Fyro? I can see this point being meant in two separate ways. In which case, let me do them both. Wait, frig, that can be taken out of context. But anyways, reason number one is that Fyro didn't do as much research as you, in which case you're shunning him for it. In which case, kindly fall off your high horse, sir. So fine, Fyro didn't decide to go all Smogon plus nerd. Does that make his point about Super not elaborating any more wrong? You'll find the answer is no. The other options that you're saying Fyro was wrong and Serena isn't a good utility Pokemon because it can do multiple useful things thanks to the move pool. If that's the case, then 1, I'm confused. 2, your wording wasn't conveyable at all, it would be extremely easy to mistake. And this really isn't helped by the fact that you seem to have an unfortunate habit of mumbling, and it's most apparent here.
Dealing with using Brionne for 17 levels was the hardest thing for me to do in my Pokemon Sun game, so when it finally reached level 34, I was so happy.
Okay, so with how vague and sort of whiny that last statement was, I will list off all the possibilities I can think of about this case. If we're talking about pure moveset, then I guess it might have been a struggle. Starting between levels 17 and 34, Brionne only got the moves Velcro for Stab, Encore which unlock Pokemon certain moves, Double Slap which multi hits, and Sting that could put other Pokemon to sleep. TMs are debatable at this point due to whether or not you bother to get them. And I guess you can be a bit of a drag since she doesn't start cracking the fairy type moves until she hits Arena. Unless you join the evolution, but you still get the moves anyways. Honestly, if that's a problem, then you can be running with whatever TMs you may have, or the most obvious situation, getting other Pokemon to cover Brionne's weaknesses. And if it's to continue ragging on design, then why hammer this in?
Super was giving an anecdotal example of how much she didn't like Brionne's design, which is fitting, seeing as it's the #1 spot. Also, how the hell was Super nitpicking Brionne's design? He pointed out major things that he didn't like, such as the hair-like ears and the dress. For once, Super elaborates himself, and you just write it off as a nitpick. Come on, dude, stop.
Yeah, and we all clearly would have known about how these nitpicks, given how you decided to take that part of the video out entirely, and I think I know the reason why. We can turn back time!
And in the #1 spot of my top 5 worst Pokemon in Sun and Moon list is, oh my, you guys are gonna hate me, Brionne. Now, before you get all worked up, let me explain my reasoning. First off, outside of Brionne, I actually really like the Popplio evolution line. Popplio is probably my favorite of the 3 starter Pokemon design-wise, and I've learned to appreciate Primarina after getting to use it a bit. So I don't want anyone coming at me for not liking Brionne because it quote-unquote looks feminine. No, I just really don't care for this Pokemon. Simple as that. I think its hair looks kind of weird, and it's also got this weird dress thing going on, and Popplio and Primarina are just so much cooler.
Okay, how are these not nitpicks? Sure, they may be a key 2 examples of Super himself list for why he doesn't like the Pokemon, but there's no elaboration for exactly why. He lists off the dress, but doesn't explain why it doesn't actually work. Do the colors fit well? Is it actually something relating to gender? Same thing goes for the ears. If there had been a little elaboration, the point would have been fine, but it looks as if he's trying to say, herp-de-derp, this is bad, so I don't like it.
Now I think I'd like to end this commentary with just one last bit of criticism. Fyro? Honey?
Kindly never say that again.
Credit the art you use. It's not that hard. Fuck!
Wow. You're a freaking idiot. Wow, okay, no lie. This might have been the worst final thoughts I have ever seen in my commentating career. First off, no! You cannot call this criticism. This is not proper criticism in the slightest. Why? Because this whole entire thing is completely and utterly unnecessary. Who died and left you the commentary god? That was Luigi didn't, because no way would he hand it over to somebody who could make such idiotic final thoughts. The reason I say this is because you by yourself here are trying to force this arbitrary rule on commentaries down Fyro's throat here, and I mean force. Bluntly. It's not even, oh yeah, Philo, I would advise you to possibly credit the artist. Now you just go full without any consent. Credit the artist, bitch! Oh, and spoiler, Philo isn't gay, so yeah, pretty sure that's rape. Also, how does this help Philo in any way? This hardly counts as final thoughts, because you give Philo no advice on how he can improve. Before I hear the complaint of his argument speaking for himself, no, they don't. If this was one of those commentaries, it might have been better to just end it without having final thoughts, period. What makes this even worse is that, fine, Philo didn't credit the artist. Tell me, Defectminus, how does that actually affect Philo's video in the slightest? Isn't addressing any of the points he made in the commentary he made, and crediting the artist wouldn't actually help him improve in the slightest. Every avatar I've used, I've never credited the artist. Does that mean my videos suffered because of it? No! My prior videos reflect the poor editing, unoriginality, plagiarism, etc. I could go on, but it'd be a waste of time. Either way, I've got my point across. Adding on to this, there's the whole Philo honey thing. And besides that being the reason I can't sleep at night now, keep in mind that you end the video with this. It's not doing a point. So, yeah, you come up as rather condescending to Philo here, regardless of whether it's to get your point across or not. And one last thing I'd like to bring up before the video ends. One of the reasons I decided to hit this video now instead of letting it be? Yeah, part of that is due to this comment I found on one of Lucas C's latest commentaries, showing that he indeed does stand by this mentality. In which case, defect. For anybody else who has this mentality, kindly take a crate and shove it into your... So okay, we're done here. I would normally have final thoughts, but I have no clue if Defect is actually planning on coming back to commentaries or not. And I think I got my points across. So, this is Jonas Smith saying watch out. I bite.